All right, welcome back to the Homestand Show. And like I said at the top of the first block, we wanted something to talk about. We got it now with the Toronto Maple Leafs. So we don't know who the new GM is going to be. It could be someone who's currently in the organization. Could be anybody. We have no idea. I mean, Stan Bowman's name is being thrown out there. I mean, that would come with a lot of probably bad PR. So we're not going to speculate on who's going to be the GM. But let's talk priorities for this GM. And I think it all begins with Austin Matthews. And then it heads down to Sheldon Keefe, who is Dubas' guy, right? So where do you want to start? Do you want to go Matthews or you want to go Keefe?
I would start Matthews. That's the biggest priority, right? For any incoming GM. It's you get that sorted out right now. And right now, if you're Matthews, if you're Marner, if you're Nylander, it's not a good day because this guy had your back from day one. This guy loved you. So much loyalty towards the core. And now it's going to be a new guy. They're thinking, wow. When he said, everything's on the table, it really is now. You have to find out what Matthews is going to demand because the new guy might think, you want 14 million? 15 million? We can't afford that. That makes no sense to us. Maybe that's, we have no idea what's going to happen here. So you've got to get that sorted out. And if you're not going to sign him this year, then you've got to trade him. And boy, imagine the market for Austin Matthews.
My God. And Justin, the expectation is for Matthews is a short-term deal.
4 to 5 year deal, 13, 14 million per, right?
As the highest paid player in the league. And I'm sure him and his agent are going to take into consideration the cap going up, which that number can, I said 13.7 around that range, but that can get to 14, 15. I don't see why not.
Again, like the NHL cap is not going to be going up exponentially like it does in the NFL,
1 million next season,
and the NBA, right? Where you can afford to we hopefully, right? There's a whole lot of things with escrow and TV contracts to factor.
Yeah, owners are still paying off that COVID bill.
Exactly,
which is
they're still
putting
that.
So is he, by the way. He's paying off that COVID bill because he got screwed over by COVID. His whole plan for this team was built around the cap going up, and it didn't. So those big contracts, that's
a really good point.
It's very true.
Right? I feel a lot of sympathy for him.
The NHL cap and that whole thing is one complex thing that's always going to be there. It's different than the NBA and the NFL where you kind of move money, spend a luxury cap. You can't do that, right? It's hard. You have this allocated money for this year. You have to spend to that amount. Otherwise, you cannot, put a team together. It is Austin Matthews. He is the biggest question mark, right? And the other thing is, another GM's perception, whoever comes in, their perception of Austin Matthews is going to be different than what currently it is, right? Kyle Dubas could think that Austin Matthews is the best player on planet Earth, but this guy, like the next person coming in, right, could say, yeah, he's a great goal scorer. He's not a great player all around. He's not a driving force. That changes the perception of how people view him and the core four. And I think that right there is going to be very important. Whoever comes in to take charge of this franchise and this hockey club, how do they perceive the core four, right? Do they determine that these guys are winning players that you can build around? Like we talked about during the playoffs, are these guys 1As that are going to be the driving force of a playoff Stanley Cup contender, or are they guys that are more of the secondary pieces, right?
I imagine that the perception of these players around the league is high individually. Matthews individually is fantastic. Marner, almost 100-point guy. Nylander can score 40 goals. JT, he's a veteran guy. The perception probably is that guy makes way too much money. But he's still, he's still one of the top players in the NHL. But as a team, collectively, those players, I don't think works. And I think the GM that comes in needs to figure out, okay, what's the balance? What's the piece I can take away to make this all stick together?
And if he comes from a different team that have a book out on the Leafs and how you beat the Leafs already, the perception changes. I think the perception from Austin Matthews would be pretty similar to most GMs. Man, a 60-goal center in the league, man, that's incredible.
He's a superstar.
For Mitch Marner, it could be very different. For William Nylander, very different, right? If they knew that to get to Mitch Marner, just playing physically, and the playoffs will go away, if that was their book on the Leafs with the new guy coming in, that doesn't bode well for Mitch Marner, right? At this club.
Here's my other question. Would you rather they go in-house and hire somebody, or do you want somebody from outside? Because I think you have to go outside the organization because it's, again, you need a new culture, a new mindset, right?
Well, I think that's what's happening. Listen, the Marley staff just got axed. So it's a sweeping renovation, I think, of the interior of this club. I think you got to bring somebody who's been in the role before.
Voice.
Well, there's one guy internally that could take it, right? And that'd be Brandon Pridham. There's no one else. So if it's not him, who's been apparently courted by Calgary.
Jason Spezza?
No,
I was looking at Peter Chiarelli's name is thrown out there. GM? I don't think so, but who knows? They've done it already.
How many guys are out there? There aren't that many proven GMs with a great resume.
Can you go out and steal somebody from another franchise? I'm not sure.
I'll say there's reports that Ken Holland might step down from the Oilers, right? Could he pretend? The Leafs have all the money in the world.
And if that happens, let's not remember, the Leafs aren't the only one in this game looking for a GM, right? It's a great role. If you look at the team, if I go there, I move this piece, this is a Stanley Cup team.
The allure of winning here in Toronto is great.
But also, James, it's a business too, right?
Pressure,
which ownership's got the deepest pockets in the NHL, probably.
Right.
Maple Leaf Sports
exactly.
Entertainment.
Yeah,
for sure.
Go ahead.
No, I'm saying you say pressure, and it is pressure in this market, right? But there's massive egos in professional sports, right? And any GM out there, be it Ken Holland or whoever it's going to be, must think, I can be the guy to turn around. I know how to fix that club.
Okay, so let's say you're the GM, Austin Matthews signs. It's a deal that makes sense, short-term deal, 13 million, whatever the case may be. What's next? Do you look at, are you going after, are you even having a conversation with John Tavares about his no move?
You have to have a conversation, don't you?
He said he said he's not going to move it.
Yeah,
who's going to take on
what are you
going
to tell him? Though? He's not going anywhere. So just assume that they have to eat that, and he's going to have to play on the wing, which means you probably need another center. Now go down the ladder one more, and you got Mitch Marner. Right?
You have to.
Well, Nylander first, because his deal's July 1st. Is with
yes, and they're going to pay him, actually. Okay, so let's do that. We actually had producer Stevie Z put together a comparable board of players who've put up similar numbers to William Nylander. And at the bottom there, you can see Mark Scheifele, 6.125. Right now, Nylander's on about almost 7 million. I think the new number for Nylander's contract, Sharms, starts at 10 million.
I think he'll ask
that. Is that too high?
No, I think he'll ask that. I don't think the Leafs will give him that. But if he's a free agent, then yes. If there was a market for William Nylander, a 40-goal scorer at his age, I think probably is 10, but I wouldn't give it to him. He's just too inconsistent for me. Yeah. I know he may be the Leafs' best forward in the playoffs, but he wasn't Draisaitl.
No,
right? Well, he went away for a lot of games. Yeah.
Looking right now at the cap structure right now, the only person that has a no move clause right now until July 1st is John Tavares. Everybody else you could trade
in July 1.
Yeah, July 1st, and it's modified for William Nylander, and then full no move.
10 teams for Willie.
Yeah, so
you have to make a decision.
You have to make a decision before
I think it goes
July
like
1st.
this. You sign Austin Matthews. You can't move John Tavares. Mitch and Willie, both or one.
Yeah, I agree.
It's both or one.
I think
at the moment, with their 11 UFAs, I think, and then one RFA and Samsonov, you only have one true center in Austin Matthews.
What does Mitch want next contract?
It's going to be, again,
if 12
plus, 12 plus 13 around there, right? Yeah. It's going to be comparable to what Austin Matthews
McKinnon's at 12.6.
Yeah.
Does he ask for more than McKinnon? He's the highest paid player in the league right now.
I think we could suspect that Matthews...
100-point player, by the way. I know we can say what we want about his playoff performance. It's incredible. You're getting a 100-point guy.
99-point player.
Okay, sorry.
99-point player.
Almost a 100-point player.
Anyway, but he's going to want to... Whatever Matthews signs for, that's going to reset the market for the NHL, right? It's probably going to be 13, maybe 13 plus. I don't see it getting to 14, right? I don't see anybody breaking the 14 million threshold until Connor McDavid is up. Which probably will hit 15. But Marner is going to want something similar to what they have right now, just slightly below what Austin Matthews
Then leave.
Getting,
then
right?
You're going.
Then
Mitch
you
Marner,
have to
sorry,
leave.
you want this money, you got to go. You can
right?
you can rack up points in the regular season, the playoffs, you can't get it done. I'm sorry.
Having so many guys
just can't
racking
happen.
up that, almost half the cap, it's proven in the last 5 years it hasn't worked, right? So I think you can either spread that a little bit, and that means one or both of those guys leaving.
Well,
I mean, they have approximately 20 million left going into this season in cap space. But now you move a big contract.
What a job, though, for a new GM. If it's a new guy coming from outside the organization, right? Usually GMs come in, they take a few months to understand how the clubs run, all the little divisions within that club, and learn about. They've got 6 weeks.
6 weeks
to figure this stuff out.
Yeah, the draft is June 28th.
And get a new coach probably as well, because let's be honest, with respect to Sheldon Keefe,
we even touch on
new
Keefe.
guy comes in, usually they bring their own guy with
He's gone.
I mean, based on Keefe's, success or lack thereof, like I said, if it's any other market, the coach is gone. Okay, it's not even a question.
Let me ask you this before we go to break. Is that why it took Brendan Shanahan so long to talk? Because you have to think that there must be some sort of plan already in place to move on to a new GM and coach. They didn't just throw this on.
It's a great point.
Right? They must have a plan, right?
They know who's available.
Yeah, they must know who's available. They might have interviews lined up already, right? They have to have a plan in place. They don't just blindly...
I mean, we don't know what Shanahan is saying, but was this mutual? Did they... did they fire Dubas? How much pressure was MLSE putting on Shanahan, or was it Shanahan the one who decided to make the decision?
The board has a lot of power, right? Obviously, he answers to the board, and if they say we need, change here, he has no choice. Sorry, Kyle.
Yeah, 20 seconds. We can talk about this all day long, but we're gonna switch gears coming up after the break. Toronto FC is in action this weekend, and talk about a franchise that's got some serious issues. We'll bring in Mikey Singh to talk about all that coming up after the break.